U.S. intelligence agency mind control.
Where he described Trump as a threat to democracy. This is how they seem to be.
Okay, I think that's done with that one. Let's go to
searching for my video on introversion.
Wait. The introversion video is actually going to come after this one. So, you know, if you don't want to miss it, you can subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications, just saying.
Already have, Alice. Don't bug me.
When I was researching for my video on introversion, in which I talked about content creator Michelle Choi, I had to watch a lot of Michelle Choi's videos to find that cool angle, that hot take, that haha moment. And in the process of doing that, I couldn't help but notice how satisfying her content was. Michelle Choi is a popular social media influencer and content creator known for her lifestyle vlogs, particularly on YouTube and Instagram. Based in New York City, she shares her daily routines, travel experiences, beauty tips, and personal growth journey with her followers. With that being said, I feel like the satisfaction that I felt when I was watching her videos came down to the number of practical gadgets that she has. In Michelle's home, every single need is met with a product. And this is not just satisfying to watch. It makes you want to buy the things as well, like a bin that automatically collects studs from the floor or a machine that prints cute labels. I didn't feel like I needed that 10 minutes ago, but now I'm scrolling on Amazon or Etsy trying to find the goddamn thing. So I paused for a second and started to do my little ritual.
Okay, do I really need this?
If the answer is, I wait for 24 hours and decide. If the answer is no, I just leave it. But still, I wanted to understand what's going on. Why do I feel this way?
No.
Now, I'm not necessarily interested in the psychology of buying. This won't be the topic of this video.
No.
I'm rather interested in the social conditioning.
Try extreme poverty. It's a great solution.
So strong and so free. Basically, in this video, I'm going to talk about a concept called commodity fetishism.
They offer her the romance, the adventure of choosing from foods gathered from the four corners of America.
On each can, so the customers and the cashiers at the checkout stand will know how much each costs.
In this video, we're going to take a look at a very important market, the commodities market.
Commodity market.
Commodity fetishism.
I'll give a brief definition for now, but the goal of this video is to fully understand what we mean by it, through the example of Michelle Choi, but also, and probably more importantly, through the example of the platform Temu. I'll make the connection later, stay with me for now. So first, commodity fetishism. Commodity fetishism is made of two words, commodity and fetishism. A commodity is a product with a value assigned to it that is meant to be exchanged on the market. And fetishism is a word invented by European colonizers to refer to African traditions or religious practices. It comes from the Portuguese feitiço, which means magic or spell. So fetish is something supernatural, magical even. Commodity fetishism then refers to the almost mystical relationship people have with commodities and the value we give them. A common example is the diamond ring. So in order to make the ring, someone had to get the diamond, forge it, then stick it to the ring, then transport it, and then sell it. Oftentimes that involves more than one person. As a buyer though, you don't see all those social relations that are part of the process.
So fucking excited for a second, I thought she was going to talk about diamonds.
Of making the diamond ring.
Because if you want to talk about commodities and commodity fetishism, diamonds and the false rarity of diamonds, making them expensive, therefore increasing the allure around diamonds, is such an interesting thing to look into.
What you see instead is the ring with its monetary and cultural value, which have little to do with its creation process. In other words, you're willing to pay a high price for the diamond ring because of the value we culturally give it. The high price is entirely based on the collective belief that the diamond ring is valuable, it's precious. It solely depends on you and other people believing in it. So if tomorrow we all woke up and collectively decided that diamond rings...
But why? Why are the diamond rings considered like that? To go into that would be to enhance this video, I feel. I don't know.
Aren't that special after all? Then the value of the ring would drop. So that is commodity fetishism. The concept was invented by Karl Marx in response to
Oh my
his
God.
economist contemporaries,
Oh my
one
God.
of them being Adam Smith. Marx did not like Smith. Marx believed that the engine of progress was class struggle, whereas Smith believed that it was human nature guided by reason in the form of laissez-faire policies. In the eyes of Smith, the price of commodities is naturally established by individuals, so markets reflect human nature. Marx disagreed. That's why he invented the term commodity fetishism to expose the supernatural, not natural, so supernatural relationship
Interesting.
between a commodity and the value we people give it. As a Marxist, Marx, gosh, you're so funny, Alice. Marx believed that commodity fetishism prevented buyers from seeing the labor that went into the production of the commodity.
I just realized what happened. That's very funny.
Commodity that they want to buy. Now, to go a little bit deeper, a bit more abstract, Marx saw commodity fetish.
No, into the diamonds and why they're expensive. Fucking, it's like all you need to explain this, please.
As the answer to avoid.
It's literally false scarcity. False scarcity increases the price of commodities for no fucking reason. Please, I hope you mentioned false scarcity.
Buyer feels when they are confronted with an object like a table, for example, because they are intelligent enough to understand that tables don't grow by themselves, so they can't help but wonder where did that come from, you know? To Marx, those subconscious questions aren't met with a practical answer, like, I don't know, a little note saying that this table was made by Giorgio. Giorgio lives in Italy, he has 2 kids, and by the way, he's been struggling to make ends meet because his boss doesn't want to raise his salary despite 4 years of loyal services. No, you won't see that. The absence of a little note, so the void, the lack of answers, is replaced by the fetish. So the magic of having a nice chair with an arbitrary price that is ready to be purchased and put in your home. How cool is that? How cool is that is what I kept repeating to myself as I was chain watching Michelle Choi's videos. How cool is that little label printer? Seriously. The satisfaction was compounded by the fact that everything looked so functional.
Try extreme poverty.
With little functional things. So I felt legitimized to imagine myself getting the same thing. It's the same as when you go shopping with a friend and, you know, you try to convince yourself that you need that specific thing. Your friend is definitely giving you the, "Are you sure, Luke?" But mentally you're ready at the checkout and you answer, "Yeah, sure. I definitely need another black baby top." Really. It's a funny little psychological trick that we do to ourselves, and Michelle Choi's content is so triggering for that because you don't need to think too much if the thing is useful or not. It screams useful. It's capitalism's best surviving strategy. Create a fake need and fulfill it. And Michelle is a great agent of capitalism because she strengthened that need by staging the product in the flat, showing the audience how convenient it is.
Hot take, this chick right here on screen that she's using as a reference is sponsored by Temu, and that's why she's included Temu in this. She is a channel that's just an ad for fucking slave labor in China. That's all this is. That's my prediction.
In fact, the more I thought about it, the more it became clear to me that the experience of watching Michelle Choi's content was very similar to the experience of scrolling on a platform like Temu. Yeah, Temu. For those of you who don't know, Temu is an online selling platform that sells a variety of home and fashion items for super cheap prices. It looks a lot like fast fashion websites like Shein or platforms like Etsy or Amazon. But the variety of products and its accessibility is insane. On Temu, it seems like all needs can be fulfilled.
Yeah, don't ask why. You don't want to know why. Don't ask. Or you can be like certain people around me that I talk to when I say you should not participate in slave labor. They go, but it's cheap. It's like, cool.
It's hard to scroll and not feel the urge to get something. Sure, the products aren't introduced by a friendly lifestyle YouTuber like Michelle Choi, but they're still staged in a way. Things are organized in categories and the presentation is optimized. Experts also noticed that Temu used gamification, which is, quote, the practice of implementing gaming-related
Love this.
elements
Love
into the
this
e-commerce
word.
experience. Customers are
I'm sure regular watchers will be very familiar with this word.
encouraged to keep shopping with the introduction of bonuses and coupons that mimic the rewards you might accumulate in a video game. End of the quote. And just to make it clear, 90% of my closet is secondhand. I am not trying to promote Temu, even though they did reach out to me for sponsorships in the past, which is...
You should always reject Chinese sponsorships and always shit on Temu anytime that you can. Fuck Temu. Fuck Shein. Fuck all of these companies that ship you hot garbage for no money because they ship on a developing nation status, which gets them free shipping basically worldwide, which they abuse to send waste plastics and shitty products that last 3 weeks before they break or are thrown away or forgotten, ending up in the ocean or landfills, while China is spewing CO2 into the atmosphere at an astronomical rate and growing. Your cheap goods are doing nothing. It's just cheap. It's just cheap.
Kind of
So
interesting.
please, for the love of God, shit on Temu every fucking chance you get. Also, same goes for Chinese EVs. Everybody knows, just don't fucking buy them. Don't even look at them. If you can advocate for getting them banned from your country, fucking do it. Get them banned. Make them not allowed to ship those junk, dangerous pieces of shit out of that country. Leave them in China, because they are just going to burn and end up in fucking landfills here or clogging up ports, fucking up our countries. Don't. Just don't.
I've heard that they pay good money for sponsorships, but yeah, I promise I won't sell out. Won't promote Temu.
Marx wasn't a Marxist. Well, technically he probably wasn't.
I promise.
I guess by modern standards he probably would be, but at the time, no, he likely would not have been. He was a theorist and Marxism wouldn't have been a thing.
Promise. Anyway, people were quite shocked when they saw how platforms like Shein or Etsy kept dropping prices lower and lower. But Temu is even worse than that. That's late-stage capitalism. You feel like it cannot go worse, but it eventually does. The fact that I've mentioned capitalism twice in this video is not a coincidence. Yes, I'm a leftist, but also, as I've explained at the beginning of the video, I'm not too interested in the psychological element of the buying process.
I wasn't protesting. She should come in our show.
More interested in the social conditioning, so what makes that psychological impulse so strong and so free. To do so, we introduced the concept of commodity fetishism, we connected it to Michel Choi's content, and we've just made a parallel with the platform Temu, which often reproduces the experience of Michel Choi's content, but replaces the friendliness with catchy content and gamification. Commodity fetishism is enhanced on Temu because the platform doesn't want you to think about the making of the product. Instead, they bombard you with a ton of information. Prices, deadlines, ads, colorful pictures, pop-ups. It is cheap. It will.
Yeah, you know what's really fucking cool though is when your friends send you nothing but notifications asking you to open a thing to give them free shit from a slave website. It's pretty fucking cool.
Be sent to you for free. You can return it. Don't need to think about it. Just add to the cart. No need to worry about who made the product, in which conditions, what are their wages.
Murray,
right?
I'm still posting.
Right?
Wage suppression. Yes, you mentioned wage suppression. Thank you. The CCP actively suppresses wages and thieves wages from the Chinese people to make sure that these things like Temu continue to happen. You are perpetuating wage theft in China by buying from Temu and Shein. Just so you're aware. I hope that you all feel really shit about it as well. I really do.
What if it was too good to be true? Let me explain. So the whole idea behind commodity fetishism is that the labor relations involved in the creation of a product are replaced by the fetish, so the magic inherent to the arbitrary value attribution of a product. When we see a price tag, we assume that there is an explanation for it. We don't question it too much because these are the natural laws of the market. Adam Smith said it must be true. Well, Timur, like most companies, let's be honest, love your denial. They love the fact that you don't really question where the product comes from and just choose to accept the value that was attributed. But Timur is not like most companies. Temu wanted to disrupt the market of fast fashion, fast homeware by offering something completely new, something extremely cheap. So, to sum it up, in the process of competing on the capitalist market with other brands like Etsy, Amazon, Shein, Temu pushed commodity fetishism to a level never seen before. But what is the limit? Is there a limit? When does commodity fetishism stop? When do people start to demand an explanation? You see, Temu is the latest invention of a hyper-capitalist society, but it may also cause its death. Because too much magic kills magic. Magic is most powerful when we feel like it helps us make sense of certain phenomena that are otherwise hard to explain. That is true for most religions, most spiritual practices, for commodity fetishism as well. Magic has a purpose, it fills a void, something that reality cannot fully explain. The belief in magic persists because of its relation to the real. That's why religious people like to mobilize their faith to make sense of real-life events.
Did you see
That's
what
why
you
the best
did
magic
there with the question mark?
fills a void. Most spiritual practices for commodity fetishism.
Like, why? I'm like, what are we
as well.
questioning here?
Magic
Like,
has a
what's
purpose.
weird?
It times when we
Just an old movie.
think about getting rid of something bad like commodity fetishism or by extension capitalism, we think about how to challenge and dismantle it from the outside. In the case of Temu or fast fashion, fast homeware in general, climate activism has been a source of challenge. In the past decades, climate activists and journalists have raised awareness on the dangers of capitalist overconsumption. They've conducted campaigns and wrote papers that served as a basis for popular social commentaries read and viewed by millions of people. They worked hard to counter commodity fetishism and reframe the emotions it triggers. I particularly like this video from climate activist Michaela Loach. Let's have a quick look and discuss it. She's clothed in strength and dignity, or is it fast fashion? This quote from Proverbs 31 was a big part of my initial boycott of fast fashion. If the clothes you wear are chosen skin, do you want to be clothed in something which funds and supports oppression and violence? Or do you want to be clothed in strength and dignity? I like the fact that she brought up the terms strength and dignity because it is true that the act of...
I also want to bring up the fact that the fashion industry in general, not just fast fashion, is fucked. Like, the fact... And let's not give fashion companies too much rope here, because at the end of the day, they can charge higher prices because these fast fashion companies exist. If the normal was what they did, there would be more of them, therefore the prices would be less. But because fast fashion exists and places like Bangladesh exist, where people can export their labor to countries that suppress wages and don't have worker protections, they are enabling the bigger fashion companies to be able to, I guess, commodify proper proper environmental conditions for the creation of clothing. Right? It's just like they're not doing good things. They're not using the proper materials because they're wanting to do good things. They're doing it because they can charge higher prices for using the correct materials. The materials that should be the normal, but aren't the normal. That's an issue. That's an issue that we should also address. Fashion also promotes waste. The fashion industry, period, promotes waste. Oh, I'm only going to wear this dress once. I can't be seen in this jacket more than once. What the fuck are you talking about? The thing probably costs $1,000.
Yeah, it's especially on women, where it's like you can't wear the same thing twice.
Oh, it's ridiculous. I'm like, if I ever hear a girl say, "Oh, I wore that before," I'm like, so? Who gives a shit? I go out in slides, socks, trackies, and a baggy shirt with my hair messy. Who gives a shit? Nobody cares. Nobody's looking at you. Who cares? Just do your shit and don't worry about what other people think. You don't need to buy $1,000 dresses once a month because you're scared to wear a piece of clothing more than once. Grow up. The fuck is wrong with you?
Buying is emotionally charged. It releases dopamine. It's exciting. So she chose to remain in the field of emotions and replace dopamine and excitement.
Well, the reason that I'm so mad about this topic specifically is because Australia is the biggest consumer of fast fashion. The biggest. Insane.
With strength and dignity. She could have chosen guilt, but instead she focused on positive emotions, which is rhetorically good. Expression of personalities through clothing can be empowering, but this empowerment should be on both sides.
And all of the clothes that I throw out, I donate. Because why would I throw them out? Even like bad ones that you shouldn't donate can be turned into rags. Bags of rags. America probably has bags of rags too. But you go down to a Salvos and they have bags of rags. They're just shirts that they've cut up that they weren't going to sell. Right? Who gives a shit? Do that. Look, recycling. Actual fucking recycling that is actually recycling shit. Excellent. We fucking love this. Oh no, I can't wear things twice.
Both the maker and the wearer need to be empowered. Otherwise, your empowerment is just some modern-day imperialist BS. In that second part, Michaela exposes the social relations hidden behind commodity fetishism. She mentions the people, where they live, and the nature of their work.
Well, I'm glad you came in here because we're like the only good one. Yeah, you have a pick between idiot fascists and duped socialists who think that Iran is good. Like it's just wild.
Working conditions. For me, this is a really good piece of climate activism, challenging the system from the outside. But what we've described with Temu is quite different. We said that Temu goes so hard on commodity fetishism that it forces us to question it. That is coherent with Marx's belief that capitalism has internal...
Who questions it? Everybody I know uses this fucking app. It's like, why would you download this?
Well, Australians are dumb.
This is true.
Contradictions that, when they are pushed to a certain limit, could lead to its demise. So to sum it up, Marx said...
I'm gonna push back a little bit. It's conditioned. They're conditioned. The way the state is set up, the way that the police work, the way that it's incorporated into education, it's conditioning. We've literally been conditioned to be this way. Because the Australian government, line go up. Line go up. We've got videos on it. I think yesterday we did fascism. Was it the last stream? But basically, romantic nationalism at the base.
Ultra romantic nationalism.
Could cause its own death by wanting its cake and eat it. I don't know about you, but I feel like that is exactly what Temu is doing. When scrolling through the Temu page, and despite their efforts to cover it, it is really hard not to acknowledge that the extremely cheap prices mean someone got screwed in the process of making the thing. The
Do you want little f fascism or big F fascism? Which one?
Labor relations that commodity fetishism aims to hide suddenly reveal themselves. It's
the
same
myth
experience
of the
as
nation?
the spiritual person who suddenly understands that their spiritual religious community might not be as kind and inclusive as it likes to portray itself. Once they have this revelation, they have two options. Either they double down on their beliefs and accept the immorality of their choice, or they choose a more moral path. In the case of Temu, you could choose to continue believing in the magic, to refuse to see all the exploitation that takes place in the process of making fast fashion, making fast homeware. And by that, we mean the exploitation of working class people, oftentimes women, sometimes kids, on the other side of the world. That's one way.
Yeah, that's a very good point as well. A lot of the fast fashion industry, it's women doing that work. Every single piece of clothing has to be touched by a person. Every single fucking piece of clothing. You cannot make a piece of clothing without a person. So every single piece of fast fashion that you buy has been touched by somebody in conditions that you would shudder at seeing.
Well,
Just be
you know
aware
what
of
they
that.
say: if slaughterhouses were made of glass, everyone would be vegetarian.
That's not true. I'd still eat meat. Meat tastes
I know
good.
it's a fucking dumbass quote. Like we haven't fucking seen hunting.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
slaughterhouses are like it's more the factory farms than slaughterhouses for me.
Yes, it's the factory farms. Yeah, it's like free range eggs as much as I can.
Another way to look at it is what we call accelerationism. In that situation, accelerationists would argue that
This is generally true for most things. There are always people in the steps of every product. Yeah, well, okay. So specifically in the garment industry, like specifically because it's such a fucked up industry, and because of how intensive the actual job that they have to do with the sewing, it's a lot of repetitive movement, it's a lot of fingers, it's a lot of injuries. So it's like it
lot of slavery.
It doesn't seem like, oh, they're just sewing, right? They're sewing 18 hours a day, every day, right? It's fucked. It's actually fucked. And if you know people who participate in fast fashion or do yourself, you should stop. China is a fascist country, but yes, slave labor like in China, yes. Slave labor, Bangladesh, Myanmar. Where else are slaves? At the moment,
not Kazakhstan.
Tajikistan.
No, the other cotton country, Uzbekistan or something. That's next to China.
Yeah, okay, Uzbekistan maybe. America, Ethiopia, child slavery, Congo, mineral slaves, all that sort of stuff. It's all the same. It doesn't like there. And it's the same. It's the same with me and like authoritarian regimes, communists, Nazis, that sort of shit. Some people try and rank them. They're like, oh, Stalin was worse than Hitler. Nah, they're all just like over a threshold. Fuck them all. Get fucked. Like it's not a matter of severity. It's the fact that it's happening. That's the problem. It doesn't matter that they're sewing. It doesn't matter if they're fucking kids pulling coltan out of mines. Doesn't matter. Problem is that it's happening.
we should let Temu and other fast fashion, fast homeware brands do their thing. They would think we should push on that internal flaw to accelerate the downfall of capitalism and move on to something else. Now be careful, because there are different types of accelerationists. You have the left-wing accelerationists who want to replace capitalism by communism, anarchism, anarcho-communism, or other sort of movements. And then you have the right-wing or fascist accelerationists who...
It's called the Supply Chain Act.
Yeah.
There you go. Good solution.
A stupid fucking statement. It's already been attempted to be put in place. Europe has tried
Supply
it.
Chain
I believe.
Act.
Yeah, that's all it takes.
It's
it just
pretty
takes
simple.
Because the problem is not slavery existing. The problem is capitalist countries and corporations are willing to pay for slave labor in countries that are willing to suppress the country's wages to match that labor. That's the problem, right? It's not like the reason it is happening is because these corporations are trying to
You need the commodity
squeeze...
fetishism as well. If you have the commodity fetishism, then the reason for that slavery to exist exists.
Exactly. And so they need to squeeze as much profit as they possibly can while paying as little as possible to the people who make their stuff, right? Minimum input, maximum gain, right? This is the capitalist brain.
The Supply Chain Act literally is addressing these nations. That's the point of the Supply Chain Act.
China and Bangladesh have already been impacted by supply chain acts. Also, public pressure forced most countries out of China.
Yeah,
Like,
Samsung
it's
completely ended their
really
direct manufacturing there.
It's really not because think about it like this, right? Because you're clearly on the right of politics. We can see that's obvious. I've completely fucking forgot where I was going with this. Continue to do it. What was I talking about?
Who cares?
No, it was a good point. I fucking had it. Hold on. Sure, but there's things here like you're like define fascism, whatever. Irrelevant. We don't care. We want everybody here. The point is that these supply chain acts work. Capitalists. That's what it was. So pink capitalism. Do you know what this is? Have you heard of this? So pink capitalism is like the woke capitalism thing. The corporations turn their picture gay for a month, and that's about it, right? That is because their marketers, their people who tell them what is the best way to make money, have told them that doing this is how they will make the most money. So you just need to make it more attractive for capitalists to think that they will make more money by being more ethical, therefore reducing the need for China, reducing slavery, reducing the need for that, and also allowing people in China to potentially have their lives bettered, because American and Western capitalist interests aren't there sucking the life out of that country because the CCP allows it, because they get enriched by it too. You see how it's just states and the top class, the political class and the capitalist class are out here draining the life from everything that they possibly can just for fucking money. I don't know. Seems like an issue we should probably stop. Okay, well there you go. You learned about what pink capitalism is. It's the pandering capitalism to the LGBT stuff. Another Australian. No, we're all fucked. This country's fucked.
Want to accelerate acts of violence towards minority groups in order to establish a white ethno-state. And that is not cute. That is not something we want to support.
I'm honestly surprised we don't have more Australians in here. Because it is like during the day here. Maybe, I don't know.
So yeah, this is how people can respond to the Temu situation. 1, denial of truth. 2nd, accelerationism. And 3rd, we said it earlier, activism. I mean, yeah, there is no definite answer, a proper conclusion to this problem. This is more like a philosophical debate, a conversation, speculations as to what happens in the world of fast fashion, fast homeware fits.
Slowly? It's been there for a while, Fred.
Into a broader historical narrative. Maybe we're witnessing the self-destruction of the fast fashion, fast homeware industry. Maybe we'll continue to thrive for decades, if not centuries. Who knows? What's clear though is that Shein and Temu have been fighting for monopoly in the last couple of years, threatening their existence in the process. Because yeah, the accumulation of lawsuits between the two led US safety regulators to think, maybe there's a problem there. Let's investigate. We'll see how that goes, where that leads.
Yeah, it might be 5, which is pretty much when we stop.
So we'll see how capitalism ends. But actually, what do you think? What is your theory? Are you more of an accelerationist, so you think capitalism will kind of destroy itself? Or
that already happened in Cronulla 20 years ago.
Or do you rather believe in activism, so that we should put pressure and challenge the system in order to dismantle it? Or do you believe in both? I would like to hear your take. Please share it in the comment section. Let's keep the conversation
We made
going.
a video on it.
That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, to subscribe if it's not already done. As always, I would like to thank my patrons for their support, and a special thank to top tier patrons.
Yeah. You'll fucking... All right, we're done. I'm going. We're done for. We're done ski.
Referenced the Protocols of Elder Zion. I mean, I wrote that book.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great book.
It's a good book.
We will continue to be your single source of
I don't
truth.
even
Dismiss
vote. That's
anything else.
impossible.
Based.
The government is going to get you.
Yeah,
The government's
they will.
going to get you. They're going to get you.
There's a lot of people who don't. I am no longer voting. I am protesting this country and the democracy, and I am not voting. Fuck them.
I farted in your general direction.
Exactly. I protest your authority, sir. I do not consent. Fuck yourself.
I saw a mod for it was like COD or something, or Battlefield or something, where it's like storming the beachhead and all the people storming are emus.
That's fucking hilarious. That's genuinely funny. Alright. We are done ski.
We split.
Thank you. No, it really doesn't. Did you see that the Liberal Democrats rebranded to the Libertarians? Very funny. Trying to ride America's coattails. Anyway, I'm ending it now. Bye. Goodbye. We'll be back on Monday, American time. Bye.
Are you aware of a CIA psychological profile about you, sir? Would you be interested in hearing what the CIA had to say? This secret study portrays as a brilliant but dangerous megalomaniac who is likely to pursue his own aims in disregard of U.S. interests. He's an uncertain ally. Shall I go on, or would you prefer that I stop, sir?